Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Hi there. Welcome to Talking Real Money. I'm Don McDonald. If you have a question about something financial, something monetary, something about investing, if you have a stockbroker you're not sure is giving you the straight scoop, or somebody's trying to pitch you on some sort of perfect product, it'll give you all of the returns of the market with none of the risk, well, you need to call me before you get into it, please, at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. Oh, and speaking of that, I'm going to a workshop, a seminar on Monday. I'll talk about it on the daily podcast. This will be another reason for you to listen to the daily podcast, because the Tuesday podcast will certainly be about this meeting I'm going to, this free steak dinner. It's a place just across the street from me, and they have a decent steak. So I thought, hey, it's a decent steak. It's free. And, of course, I'm going to have fun. And when they set up my appointment, when they confirmed it, get this, here's the question they asked me. Are you a stockbroker or an insurance agent? That was the question. So what is my answer? No, but I was even more honest. I went above and beyond answering the question. I said, but I used to be a stockbroker back in the 80s. And she said, oh, that's far enough back. I wanted to be totally transparent on that particular question. She did not ask me if I was a partner in a registered investment advisory firm, or do you have a talk show? Never asked me that. I didn't feel it was my duty to inform her I have a talk show. Is it? No, I don't think so. So I'm going. I got to find out what they're pitching, because the pitch is not clear. It's a tax seminar. It's on the tax code. Sure it is. I have a sneaking, I've got to tell you, I don't have anything on which to base this. But it's about taxes and Social Security and retirement. I have a sneaking notion, probably right, that they're going to be selling an indexed annuity. And I just feel a good time coming on for Don. Oh, I'm so excited. 855-935-TALK is the number here if you want to call me before you get into one of those deals. You can go to the dinner. You just can't buy anything, okay? When they send you that free steak dinner thing, sure, go use their money. They're giving you a dinner. Take the dinner. If you get one of those Ruth's Chris deals or something, take it. You know how much those steaks usually are? Woo, take it. And take this opportunity to get a free copy of Financial Physics for those who call the show at 855-935-8255. And, Jeff, you're up first this hour. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Jeff,
well,
what's
talking
up?
Real money. Well,
yes.
Talking real money, we could talk about Prince Philip and the House of Greece and Norway, but doesn't sound like you want to talk about that. But what do you think
do
about?
A lot of good to talk about it, but okay.
That's real money, you know.
Oh yeah, but they're not giving any to you or me. So what's the point?
They merged, with the House of Windsor or whatever, I think.
Wow, you are sort of a regal royal history scholar.
That's real money,
Yeah. So what else do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm trying to think about consolidating some higher interest credit card debt, and I'm thinking of taking a loan out of my Vanguard vehicle, and it seems like a really low interest rate. And can you explain to me I just looked into it, and they were talking about how they take the money they loan me and put that into another investment, and it There's only
wait a minute. Who's lending you money? Vanguard?
Well, the whatever thing I have through work, will my retirement account allows a certain amount of a loan.
Oh, against your 401k.
I guess, yes.
Or whatever. So they have an actual loan that they will write the note. Okay.
And it's a low interest rate. They said it's like 3 or 4%. It's a margin over a certain bond rate.
Yeah, it's probably, it could be, well, it used to be the LIBOR rate. It's usually prime these days, but yeah, it's some sort of a loan with a rate that fluctuates over time. And if you really need to do it, then yeah, you're going to lose some tax efficiency, but it's okay.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Download the advisor interview form and find out if your advisor's a fiduciary at TalkingRealMoney.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Whether or not you should borrow from your 401k plan it's not a simple question. But Bankrate.com, I knew I'd seen this somewhere, has a should I borrow from my 401k plan calculator. It's very handy and it's really easy to use. Rather than trying to have you find it at Bankrate.com, which is a really big site, during the break I put it up in one of our hot buttons at TalkingRealMoney.com. It's a new thing. At the very top of the homepage at TalkingRealMoney.com, I have hot buttons about things we've talked about that might be of interest. Go there, Jeff, or anyone else who wants to know if they should borrow from their 401k, if it makes any sense, and go through the calculator. Try it out. See if it makes sense from a tax standpoint, a lending standpoint, all of that stuff. And 855-935-TALK is the number here. Give me a call, 855-935-8255. What else do you have to do today? Travis, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi, I'm calling because I worked for a nonprofit and I quit 15 years ago. And I recently got some paperwork. They want me to decide how I want my retirement to be paid, because they're not going to handle it in-house anymore.
They're getting rid of it. Okay, just transfer it into an IRA.
And when that was one of the options, I asked, can they do a self-directed IRA? And the HR manager at the company didn't know.
No. Here's what you want to do. Don't worry about a self-directed IRA. Where do you want to invest it that you need a self-directed IRA?
Real estate.
No. No. Bad idea. You're going to put your retirement at risk in a piece of property, and then you're going to go into one of these self-directed IRAs that charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars a year to manage them? There are only a few companies who can do it. It's incredibly expensive. The risks are high. How much money do you have in this nonprofit account?
Oh, it's a few thousand, like 10,000.
No, well, one, that's not enough to get into real estate. No, go online to Vanguard.com. Open an IRA there. Put it into a fund like the Total World Stock Index Fund, which gives you real estate. There'll be some real estate in there. And have your previous employer transfer the money into that.
Okay, so just transfer Vanguard.com.
Vanguard.com. Do that. Don't do real estate. Please, I'm begging.
Okay, well, that's why I'm calling.
Glad you did. Thanks. Take care, Travis. Appreciate it. 855-935-TALK's the number. 855-935-8255. Yeah, Tom chimed in on my text messaging thing. He's apparently listening. The 401k loans are a last resort, but as Jeff mentioned, he's trying to get rid of some high interest rate debt. Take a look at what the ramifications are. That's why that calculator's a handy-dandy thing. Oh, and by the way, you have to pay the loan back in 5 years, and it does. It hurts your tax-free or your tax-deferred growth. It takes a lot of money out of your plan that can't grow for you for an extended period of time. So make sure that it is the only choice you have as a last resort. Some people, maybe you can get a loan from someone else to consolidate at a lower interest rate. That may be a way, and it may be an adjustable rate like the one from the 401k, but that would be a better choice first. So got a lot of answers for you. 855-935-TALK. give me a call, get a book. And Fred, you're next. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Yes, Don, I'd like you to comment on indexed universal life as an investment.
Hate it, hate it, hate it. I actually really don't like it. It's a big shell game. It's a con. It's an outright, in my opinion, it's an outright con. They're telling you that you can get the returns of the stock market without any risk, and that you can borrow against it, so you can take out loans, and you should never lose money. And they claim it's tax free, which is an absolute lie. It's only tax free if you're borrowing against it. If you ever take it out, you're going to pay taxes on it. And the commissions for indexed universal life to the salespeople, I've seen commissions as high as 12% of the amount you put in.
Okay.
It is a horrid bad. And you know what? Not a single person I've ever known actually went out and bought one of these. They're always being sold one, particularly by some of these people who have radio shows. There's a ton of them. And these radio shows are so misleading. This is one of the biggest lies told by anyone in the financial services business. And they can get away with absolute opacity. In fact, it's financial murder, in my opinion. I just despise these products.
Now, in this case, I was told that they would reduce the death benefit, and so it would end up with a return of somewhere 7-8%.
Baloney. Right. You're going to get 7 or 8% from an insurance company. Now, what you might get are, if you no, it's universal life. It's not even an annuity. No. They can say almost anything they want because they said it with words, but I bet they didn't write it down. Did they ever write down 7 or 8% return?
Not something that they signed.
No, they won't either. Read the disclosure documents. The fee structures are high. The promises are well below what they make it appear in the sales pitch. And anytime anybody is pitching you something with returns with numbers around 7 or 8% with safety, you need to run away, because that is an absolute bald-faced lie. You can't get a safe 7 or 8% on dollars on dollars. No way.
What would be a good alternative?
Just investing for your risk tolerance? What is the purpose of the money you would put into this?
I'm already retired, so just
do you need death insurance?
Preservation.
Well, there is no such thing as a safe investment that pays 7 or 8%. They do not exist. Safe investments pay about 2 to 3%. If you want to make more, it's an absolute fact that you have to take more risk. Salespeople don't like to say that, so they'll tell you anything you want to hear. They will, because they just want to make the sale, get their big fat commission, and make the next payment on the Lexus. You need to take care of you and realize that if you want absolute safety, you're looking at a bank, you're looking at treasuries, you're looking at maybe a bond fund. If you want to make a little more money, you have to throw some stocks into the mix along with your bonds. Go take the risk quiz at TalkingRealMoney.com.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Just about everything you need to know about money can be found at our website, TalkingRealMoney.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
There are even some, I get very indignant about these things. There are even some people out there who actually are registered as investment advisors with the SEC, and they have radio shows. I've heard their shows, and these smarmy registered investment advisors should actually lose, and if some of them are even certified financial planners, they should lose their CFP designation. They should be banned from being RIAs, because these smarmy, I love the word smarmy. I love it. It means greasy, slick, oily, ew. These smarmy salespeople, because they make so much money off of them, are out there selling indexed annuities and indexed life. And How do they, I know how they sleep at night, in a very expensive house, in a very expensive bed that's very, very comfortable, and they drive a very good car, but doesn't your conscience ache? You just nasty people. You're just nasty. You take advantage of people, you're nasty. Oh, and I'm sure you tell yourself, you lie to yourself, just like Jordan Goodman lied to himself about that Ponzi scheme he was selling that was supposed to yield 8%. You smile and tell yourself, oh, these are actually in the client's best interest. I mean, come on, they want safety. You people, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Ooh. Okay, I think I got that off my chest. All right, Mary, it's your turn. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hello.
Hi, Mary.
I used to have an account with a financial group, and they would put me in about 6 different stocks. I have since changed to Vanguard, but I'm concerned. The reason I'm calling, my son has a financial advisor, and they have him in about 20 different stock or bond sources. Is that typical to have so many?
Mary, it really depends. For example, if they have a very respectable science-based advisor who uses factor investing, like, they've got some growth and some value and some small and some international and some real estate investment trusts and bond funds, yeah, you can have a number of mutual funds. But I would want to know 2 things. One, are they passive index-style funds with low fees? And what does the advisor charge for this advice? If he has 20 or 30 individual stocks or bonds, I think that he's getting terrible advice.
Okay,
so it really depends on what he has. But
many
you know what,
many of them have 25B fees.
Oh, you mean 12B1 fees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think your son is not with a financial advisor really, but with a stockbroker. See, the term financial advisor is used very loosely. It can apply to any idiot out there. Stockbrokers use it all the time because stockbroker sounds like somebody who's selling you something, which in fact is what they do. But obfuscation is the key, is the goal. That's what they want. They want it to appear less clear. Ask your son to make sure that he's with a registered investment advisor who is a fee-only advisor and uses 100% no-load funds, which, from what you're saying, it sounds like he doesn't. Have him call us or go to Talking Real Money and take a look at some of the information. Go to Real Investing Journal, read up on this. He's probably not getting the kind of advice he deserves, and he's probably paying a lot of money for a lot of garbage. More than likely, he has what I call a hodgepodge portfolio, where the broker just sells them whatever happens to be the hot idea of the day, and eventually you end up with all this disparate garbage that doesn't work together at all and just cost him a lot of money and made the broker, in many cases, out and out wealthy. 855-935-TALK is the number.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
It may not be the sexiest website in the world, but it's your one-stop shop for real money information. TalkingRealMoney.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Walking in a winter wonderland. Snow is really beautiful. It really is beautiful, as long as you don't have to drive in it. That's when it's miserable. If you can stay home, stoke a fire, brew yourself a nice brew, boil yourself a nice cup of hot chocolate, maybe throw some Baileys in it, whatever, and that is a brand name, it can be so enjoyable. And doing it with a radio show by your side, helping you manage money better and not get ripped off, who could ask for anything more? 855-935-TALK is the number here. I'm Don McDonald. Tom is snowed in, enjoying his cup of cocoa with his daughter on her birthday. Almost her birthday. Birthday's next week. But happy birthday, Aria. I'll see you then, around then. 855-935-TALK is the number, and our next caller is, I believe, Randy. Yep, Randy, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hey, good afternoon. I got an easy question for you, probably.
Okay, what's the question?
I'm looking for a short-term savings account, maybe to pump some money into a house within about 4 or 5 months, and I see these online savings banks like Fit Bank, 2.45 interest rate for checking for a savings account, $40,000-$50,000. What do you think of that?
I think that's absolutely great. You're doing the right thing. You're shopping online, and you can get some amazing rates from banks around the country. And bear in mind, as long as they're FDIC insured, it doesn't matter where the heck they are. Take their money.
Okay, great. That's what I just wanted to make sure. I've never done the online savings account kind of thing.
No, feel absolutely free to do it. Take advantage of it. That's a lot of money to make on a no-risk investment, basically.
Right. Good enough. That's all I need. Hey, thank you.
All right. You're very welcome. Thanks for calling. Again, the number, 855-935-8255. And Jerry, you're up next. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Greetings, Don.
Hi, Jerry.
I have is that seminar still coming up?
Next weekend, yeah, absolutely.
What happens if the snow's still around?
We're still doing it.
Okay,
I'm going to be
outstanding.
there. Okay. I'm going to be there, and we are going to have such a good time. Because, there's a parking garage under Maidenbauer, and the streets in downtown Bellevue will be clear.
Okay, outstanding. I got a two-part question. Number one, you know that guy that was selling annuities from Spokane, Sean Peel? Any idea what happened to him?
Yeah, I remember him. That was Sean. How'd you spell his last name?
I think it's P-E-A-L, Sean Peel.
Yeah, Sean Peel. He was all over the state selling stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah. Annuities.
Yeah, I don't think anything happened to him. No, it's P-E-E-L. Yeah, Sean Peel. I don't think anything ever happened to him. I mean, I didn't like what he was selling, but I don't think he got into trouble.
So the SEC never came out and did anything to him?
I'm going to have to look now. I don't remember hearing anything. I never liked anything he was doing. But, no, I don't think he did anything that was illegal. It was just distasteful.
Okay. Okay, the next question
I'm going from memory, but I do not ever remember hearing him getting into trouble. I just never liked what he did.
Yeah, I used to hear him on one of the channels. I think he was on every Sunday, 10 o'clock to 11, something like that. Yeah, and then finally they'd say to him, and this is not an annuity. They would say that.
Yeah, right. Hey, can you hang on with me for just a second? The break is running at me headlong. I got to get out of its way. And we'll come right back after.
One more question.
Okay, I'll get to it right after this. 855-935-TALK is the number, and we will continue because we have a lot to talk about.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Would you like to talk to a real investment advisor for free? Set up an appointment at TalkingRealMoney.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hi again, Don McDonald here on Talking Real Money, and Tom is enjoying a snow day. You can call me, though, anytime at 855-935-TALK. Even after the show's over, you can call that number and ask your questions, and they'll get answered on our daily podcast, which is up at all the major podcast services, like Apple Podcasts, which is the biggest of them. Most people go there, or any of the others. Spotify, Spreaker, I don't know if we're on Pandora yet. They're just getting into podcasts, but all the other ones. 855-935-TALK is the number. Still have time for your call, but barely. So if you want to call, you better do it soon. And if you call, you'll get a copy of Financial Physics for free. And we go back now to Jerry, who had a second question. Jerry, what's your question?
Yeah, Don. Okay, the next question is this. If I have around $1 million and I want to transfer that to either 3 different mutual funds, I should say families of funds.
Yeah.
One is Vanguard Advisory. They charge 30%. Fisher, for that amount, charges 1.25%.
No, don't go there.
And what do you guys charge?
If it's $350,000, it's 0.9. Anything up to $1 million is 0.9. Don't go to Fisher. Fisher buys individual stocks. He's a stock trader timer. I would suggest he advertises like mad, but I would rather see you not go there. And his fees are higher than I think they should be.
How good is Vanguard Advisory?
Vanguard Advisory is fine. You're not going to get financial planning from Vanguard. You are going to get good help building a portfolio. That's what they're good at. And they charge a very fair fee because they are such a gigantic organization. We can't even touch that fee. We've tried to keep our fees as low as we possibly can, but we cannot come anywhere near Vanguard, because nor can even most of the mutual fund companies, because Vanguard doesn't have to make a profit, and they also have like thousands and thousands of employees. But Vanguard for what they do, they're good at it.
All right, they charge less than you, but do you do a better job for people, for your clients?
Okay, do you want? Of course, my opinion is, yeah, we do. Do you know why I think we do? I'll tell you why I believe we do. Vanguard is going to build you a very typical portfolio, which is fine for most people. The reason we do what I believe is a far better job is, one, the planning component. We are good at it, but that's really not even the main thing. The main thing is the fact that we build portfolios that are based on some of the most incredible research out there that Vanguard doesn't subscribe to, that overweights value, that overweights small caps, that and we can use any products from anybody, anywhere, anytime. We've used Vanguard funds and Schwab funds and dimensional funds. We've been pitched Bridgeway funds and AQR funds. We can use what we believe, and truly what we believe and have researched is in the client's best interest. Vanguard will only put you in Vanguard funds. But they're good at what they do. I am not going to denigrate them. I'm just saying, if you ask me who's going to do a better job, and over the long term, based on science, probably build you a more risk-tolerable portfolio with better future potential, I would say it's a company like Vestory.
So you guys charge less in mutual funds, the lowest possible, plus you rotate a lot.
We don't rotate. No, we rebalance. But we do not rotate. We do not rotate. We build the portfolio based, one, on your risk need, two, on your risk tolerance. Then we build it based on the work of Markowitz, all of these Nobel Prize winners, Samuelson, Eugene Fama, Ken French hasn't won a Nobel yet, Merton Miller. It's based on the work of a dozen Nobel Prize winners, or are close to Nobel Prize winners.
Outstanding. I think you sold me.
All right, sir.
Thank you, Don.
You're very welcome. Thanks so much for the call. I really appreciate it. 855-935-TALK is our number. And remember, you can call that number anytime, even if you don't get in on the show. Leave your question and then listen to it on the daily podcast. Cheryl, you're up next. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Hi,
can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Thank you. I followed you for years. In fact, you're the reason I have index funds way back when. Maybe 25 years ago, I talked to you.
Old.
But
I am old.
Me too, very old.
Okay.
My question is on bonds. I have mainly index funds in my traditional IRA with Vanguard, but I also want bonds, but I don't want bond funds with interest rates going up. So what do you think about buying an individual bond, a company's individual bond?
Oh, you didn't listen to me that closely then.
I missed something. Okay.
Yeah, because, let me just... Someone somewhere has been saying since 2008 that interest rates are going up.
Yes.
They
You're right.
really haven't moved very much.
No.
As a matter of fact, in the past month, interest rates have gone down. I refinanced my mortgage 2 years ago at 4.5%. Do you know what the mortgage rates are today? 4.5%.
4.5%.
4.5%. You can't play the game. And here's another thing that you need to bear in mind. Let's say you go to Vanguard and you get the Vanguard Intermediate Treasury Fund or something like that, okay?
Yes.
You put your money in there, and let's assume that interest rates do go up. Well, bear in mind, they have bonds maturing every single day. They're coming out of the portfolio. That leaves them with new money that they have to invest in brand new bonds at the higher rates. Over time, the rate of the fund is going to fluctuate, moving up and down closer to where the current rate is.
Well, are you saying then, okay, if I had to choose between a total bond fund and to the Treasury bond, which fund would you recommend?
It depends on how much money you have. If you have tens of millions of dollars, maybe you can go out and start laddering a portfolio of treasuries cost effectively. If you're like a normal people, like if you're like normal people like the rest of us, buy the bond fund.
Normal. Buy the bond fund. Now I have the short-term bond fund and the total bond fund. Does that?
Perfect.
You say it
That's great. Actually, use both. Use both. That's perfect because
I think you recommended that 100 years ago when I followed it. Oh my God!
And what's funny about the things I suggest is that they don't change really because it's just sense. Your short-term bond fund is going to adjust very quickly to interest rate changes.
It does.
The other bond fund is going to pay you a slightly higher rate if rates go down or a slightly lower rate if they go up. You're going to balance out nicely. And that's what it's all about.
I'll never forget when I talked to you on the phone because I said, I'm going to buy this stock and this stock and that stock. And you said, whoa, just go into the index fund. And I did. I'm very thankful.
I am very happy you did, and I appreciate you listening, and thank you so much for being with us. And remember, you can call, any of you can call anytime at 855-935-TALK and then listen to the daily podcast.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Do you know what your investment risk tolerance is? Take our free no-obligation risk quiz at TalkingRealMoney.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
In addition to calling 855-935-TALK anytime and asking your question, we also have a ton of great stuff to help you become a better investor at TalkingRealMoney.com, and that site's just going to keep getting better. At the very top of the page, I've been starting to put in these real money hot buttons that have some things that we're doing that are very special. One of the things that Vestry does that sets us apart from, I think, every other firm out there, we got a few things. One, we're not sales-oriented. We don't push people to buy things. We just don't do it. Two, Tom and I set this company up 10 years ago this year. Wow. As an educational firm first, an advisory firm second. We committed to giving everyone who asks a financial education to get them on the right foot. To do that, one of the things we've just started doing recently is setting up online meetings with an advisor with, I'm serious, no obligation, no cost, and no sales pitch. Now, we will not become your investment advisor unless you pay us a fee to be with you for the rest of your life. But if you want one of those meetings, go to TalkingRealMoney.com.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately and consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. That's a wrap.